Recorded Books and One Click Digital present The Penguin Book of the Undead, 1500 Years of Supernatural Encounters, edited by Scott G. Bruce, narrated by T. Ryder Smith. Introduction. The word undead first appeared in the 10th century, when a Christian preacher named Alfric of Ensham, circa 955 to circa 1010, employed its Old English ancestor, the adjective undeadlich, to describe the immortality, the undyingness of God. The term has undergone an ironic reversal in modern English, where it now denotes dead people who have been reanimated by a supernatural force. This change reflects the intense interest in tales of the living dead that have become ubiquitous in modern societies. The revival of Gothic horror stories like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, 1818, and Bram Stoker's Dracula, 1897, in movie theaters in the 1930s sparked a popular interest in the undead that persists to the present day. Between the release of cult films like Night of the Living Dead, 1968, and the airing of Joss Whedon's wildly popular television series Buffy the Vampire Slayer, 1997 to 2003, stories about the risen dead have saturated the modern imagination. The past decade alone has witnessed the release of dozens of feature-length films about the so-called zombie apocalypse, the catastrophic breakdown of modern society due to an epidemic of living corpses. While similarly restless, ghosts and their kindred spirits have followed a different trajectory in modern media. The psychological trauma of an encounter with a ghost, depicted so vividly in the stories of M.R. James, 1862 to 1936, and his imitators, has receded in the wake of more sentimental treatments. Unlike marauding zombies, whose malevolent intention is never in doubt, the appearance of a dead soul could evoke pity or sadness or regret in the living, especially when it is recognized as a loved one now lost. This ambivalent relationship between the living and the returning dead is not new. It has been a persistent theme in Western literature for almost 3,000 years. This collection of stories about premodern encounters with ghosts and animated corpses spans 15 centuries, from the height of the Roman Empire in the 1st century CE to the reign of Queen Elizabeth I, 1558 to 1603. Ancient, medieval, and early modern authors related stories and ideas about supernatural events involving the dead in a wide variety of genres, including epic poetry, histories, hagiography, personal letters, theological and polemical treatises, sagas, plays, and collections of miracles and marvels. The persistence of these stories over such a long span of time speaks to the abiding interest among the living in the fate of the dead, who remained a much stronger presence in the face-to-face communities of pre-modern Europe than they do in the antiseptic anonymity of most modern societies. Stories about the dead have an ancient pedigree. In the classical period, from the Trojan War to the ascendancy of Rome and the Mediterranean Sea, the spirits of the recently deceased appeared often to the living to plead for proper burial and commemoration, the obligations owed but not always granted to the dead. Professional necromancers animated the corpses of the slain and compelled them in rituals of divination to share the information that only the dead can know. Even the religious revolution of late antiquity, during which the Christian Church triumphed over Greek and Roman paganism, this commerce with the dead persisted, though with new mediators. As early Christian theologians developed the notion that souls underwent a cleansing in fire in preparation for their entry into heaven, stories about the returning dead became an important medium for asserting the benefits of praying and giving alms on behalf of the faithful departed to speed their way to paradise. By the 11th century, Christian monks had effectively domesticated the ghost story as a tool to teach the faithful about the economy of the afterlife. The stain of unavoidable sins imperiled every soul, but the prayers
Sample complete. Ready to continue?